James Clapper, he came out and said that the Muslim Brotherhood is secular and it's not a threat to anybody, with the president standing right next to him. Ban terms. You can't say global war on terror. You can't talk about jihad, Islam's role in terrorism, radical Islam, Islamic jihad, Muslim Brotherhood support for Hamas, Palestinian goal in their charter of destroying Israel. All those have been removed from government training, and you were forbidden from mention. This guy had him in there, and they fired him from the Defense University because he was teaching on radical Islam and its effect on terrorism. Since then, and then we're wrapping it up, the president has been purging the U.S. military. Just in the last year, he has fired 9 decorated generals. 3 of those generals, I have photographs right there, exposed Benghazi and came out and said, we could have been there in time. We could have saved the ambassador and the other 3 Americans and the others that were wounded. We could have done it. All 3 of them were summarily fired by President Obama. And he's purged 9 others, 2 of which are in charge of the nuclear program in the United States. Okay, there's been several other senior military people that have been removed. There is a dictatorship of thought and speech, we understand now, in the Department of Defense, and there are documents at Fort Hood that have Christianity linked in, Christian evangelicals linked in with domestic terrorist threats to the United States, and they're training the military in that. Purging the military, just that's Soviet style. That's what Stalin did. First thing he did is went in and fired all the generals who disagreed with him. Case study, we all know about this. Obama called it workplace violence. When he had direct documented connections and emails to Anwar al-Awlaki, the al-Qaeda chief at the time, they called it workplace violence, which caused the military people to lose their pension for an act of terrorism. They lost their Purple Hearts. They lost everything. Some of them are just barely getting by. He was paid $800,000 while he was in jail. This fellow was sworn on. He refused to be sworn in on the Bible. He used the Quran. He's a member of the ISNA, which is a Muslim Brotherhood connected organization. Apologize for having to go so fast, but we're almost done. When President Obama gave the June 4th, 2009 Cairo speech, he deleted the rest of the passages in the Quran which talk about punishment of non-Muslims, crucifixion, and fighting against the unbelievers. When he gave that speech, he left the next 2 verses out. You need to know about this lady, Valerie Jarrett. This is a quote. After we win this election, it's our turn. Payback time. Everyone not with us is against us, and they better be ready, because we don't forget. The ones who helped us will be rewarded. We're seeing that. The ones who opposed us will get what they deserve. There's going to be hell to pay. Congress won't be a problem for us this time. No election to worry about after this is over, and we have 2 judges ready to go. Ms. Jarrett is now the chief advisor to President Barack Obama. Everyone agrees that she makes the decisions for him in terms of national and national security policy. She has 24/7 access to the Obamas. The generals that have come out and talked about this are saying that she is responsible behind the purging of the U.S. military and the firing of the 9 generals. Remember this lady.
I thought she also was the person that made the decision on Benghazi.
Yes, she was.
She lives in the White House, according to what
Yes, she does. And she has 24. She can go into the Obamas at 2 in the morning. And, yeah. She essentially is the brain of the president.
And who pulls her? She pulls Obama's strings. I want to know who's pulling her.
Let him finish.
Yeah, just remember the term Chicago politics. Just remember that. This is him refusing to acknowledge there's a war on terror with radical Islam. We got to go through these quickly. He has leaked Israeli missile sites targeted to defend themselves against the Iranian nuclear program. He leaked this information out to the public so the public would know the Israelis were setting these defense sites up. It came from the White House. We all know about this. The point I want to make is he targeted all these conservative constitutional groups, but the groups that the IRS did not target, the Islamic Society of North America, Muslim Students Association, Council on American-Islamic Relations, and these are all Muslim Brotherhood groups that were fast-tracked while they stopped the Christians. I've got some quotes from the Quran where I prove, sorry, but this is the goal. A world caliphate and the elimination of Christianity and the elimination of the U.S. Constitution and its replacement with Sharia law. Banning the cross, I'll mention one thing here. When President Obama went into a university to give a speech, they had crosses all over the place. He made the Secret Service go in ahead of time and cover those crosses up with sheets or he would not speak. That is a Muslim mandate. Muslims cannot speak, pray, or worship in the presence of a cross. It either has to be destroyed or covered, and the President made the Secret Service do that. Now, I'm saying this on tape, so I'm probably not really popular, or at least I won't be, probably not now, in Washington. But this is the proof. I go through the teachings of the Quran, the Hadith, the Ulema, Sharia law, what's called the Conditions of Omar, where it commands the destruction of Christianity. Commands it. Some more Quran quotes that stating what they do. Some more. Anti-Christian actions by President Barack Obama. I got a sheet about 20 of these. April 28, 2008 speech, rather. Christians cling to their guns or religion. You remember that? 2009 speech, he ordered monograms symbolizing Jesus' name to be covered. 2009, he gave $50 million to the UN Population Agency, which promotes abortion. He calls himself a Christian. 2009, declines to host services for the National Day of Prayer, but instead gives an iftar dinner in honor of Islamic Ramadan. 2009, nominated 3 pro-abortion ambassadors to the Vatican. October 2010, deliberately omits the phrase creator 7 times from the Declaration of Independence. May 2009, pro-life advocates are violent and racist. 2010, avoids all biblical holidays, but he recognizes the traditional Muslim holidays. Founding fathers, the creators of our Constitution and our government, large parts of our society. Today, would they be a threat to national security? Well, the IRS thinks so. Okay, what did they espouse? Faith, patriotism, dedication to the Constitution, challenging government power, biblical moral standards, courage in action, decrying government tyranny. What would happen to them today if they did those things? Would they be the subject of all of this stuff, which the Tea Party is and constitutional groups are? Yeah, based on what's happening. This is the new national security threat. And as far as the Obama administration goes, and I'm saying that because it's just so. The new national security threat are Tea Party groups, constitutional groups, the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Man, what a bunch of mean people, huh? They're now a threat to national security.
We are a threat to Obama.
Yeah, we're a threat to Marxist security, but anyway, enough said there. This is the new radical, bigoted, violent extremist as far as the current Chicago ideology and the White House is concerned. That was the new violent radical extremist, a dedicated Christian who takes their faith seriously and practices it. This is the Declaration of Independence. I have in bold there any references to God, our Creator, our unalienable rights, right? Let me give you the blacked out, secret government approved version. That's what it would look like if that document was created today. God, Creator, holding your government accountable, replacing it if it's tyrannical. That's what they want taken out. These are quotes about our Constitution's foundation on religion, the Bible, and basis on moral values and Christianity. You cannot get away from that. There's the target right there. If you want to get rid of Christianity, or excuse me, if you want to get rid of the Constitution, that's what you got to attack. You got to attack the foundation. You got to eradicate Christianity and Judaism from American society and get rid of what they believe is this old, outdated document written by fanatical religious men whose opinions are based on a myth that doesn't really exist today. That's what progressivism believes. Here's the effect of atheism and even Darwinism on world history. Most of these guys were Darwinists, but this is the effect of atheism on world history. Let's look at what history says about this. Mao Zedong killed 49 to 78 million people. Joseph Stalin, 23 million. Adolf Hitler, 12 million. Human life is very cheap when you don't think a creator exists and your government documents are not founded on that. People are just lumps of flesh. Thomas Jefferson, experience has shown that even under the best forms of government, those entrusted with power have in time and by slow operations perverted it to tyranny. All right, summary. Let's go through the summary real quick. I think we've covered most of this. This is a critical hour in U.S. history. What's it going to take? It's going to take people like some of the folks we have out here that have faith and courage. And I would exhort pastors of churches to get involved in this. 27 of the original drafters of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were pastors of churches. And I would exhort religious leaders, some of which who are hiding, to come out and take part of this. Because if they don't, they're not going to be standing behind that pulpit for very long. Stay informed. Don't be intimidated. The only thing that's going to stop us is fear. We're not going to fear our government. We're going to hold them accountable. And as a people that love freedom, we're going to stand up together fearlessly and demand that they change. It's the only way. Fear is the only weapon that they have. Is there a GOP political class, upper political class, that doesn't listen to us? Matter of fact, they target the Tea Party as a problem. Is there a privileged class? I call them neo-statists. They're no longer constitutionalists. They care about their next election. They care about their agendas coming through. They care about pleasing their lobbyists and on. They care about their own power, essentially. They attack the Tea Party. This is what John McCain just said, and I'm not pounding on John McCain, but this is what he just said. Talking about raising the debt ceiling. If Cruz and others continue to do this, then Democrats would have no choice but to pass a balanced budget amendment and reform entitlements, and the Tea Party hobbits could return to Middle-earth having defeated Mordor. He's mocking the Tea Party.
I wonder who wrote it for him.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a quote right out of the Wall Street Journal. He was quoting the Wall Street Journal.
They had to write it down.
Yeah, because those guys rarely write their own speeches, if ever. We compromise our principles, Tea Party members. If we let this GOP political class intimidate us, they're fighting against their own. They are not attacking the Democrats, these folks. I'm sorry, I'm just being objective here. Okay, they're not attacking the Democrats, the GOP political class. They're attacking the Tea Party Republicans, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Rand Paul. They're trying to shred those guys up because they threaten their political power. And these guys are constitutionalists. They revile the Tea Party constantly. The GOP class needs to change. It's time for a change in the Republican Party, and it's time for them to return back to the Constitution that they're supposed to be supporting. All right, last one, then I'm done. I promise. Just a great quote. The great pillars of all government and of all social life are virtue, morality, and religion. This is the armor, my friend, and this alone that renders us invincible. And I'll just leave you with